Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. Just going to be talking about energy regen alternatives with the synth set. Uh, Easily allows you to replace Arcane Energize if you don't have that. As I know most of you don't. It's going to be an interaction between three mods: Equilibrium, and on your pet, works on companions, so Panzers, Hounds, Kubros, Sentinels, this set, or these two mods set onto it pretty nice. Synth Fiber, Synth Deconstruct. What these two mods do is actually pretty interesting. Synth Deconstruct, enemies injured by the companion have a 25% chance to drop a health orb when killed. Injured counts as 1 damage, and that's going to be important. So as long as you do, the Sentinel does 1 damage to the enemy, it will have a 25% chance to drop a health orb. Synth Fiber, keeping in mind Equilibrium. Health orbs from Deconstruct will count as normal health orbs and will give you energy and convert the health that you pick up into an equal and slightly larger amount of energy. Synth Fiber, on the other hand, any health orbs you pick up increase the armor for companions by 100% for 12 seconds. And these mods come from Fortuna. This mod, Synth Fiber, will slot directly over Metal Fiber. And it'll be someplace different on the, like, say, Vulpaphiles, and I'll show you the build for that in a second. So on Sentinels, the only spot that you're really having to make space for is going to be Synth Deconstruct. And all you have to do is get the Sentinel to deal any damage at all to be able to proc Synth Deconstruct, the health orb chance. Actually, there's a couple of Sentinel weapons I would highly recommend. The Hellstrom is pretty good because with it, it has a an AoE attached to it. You could also do, if you don't have Prime Firestorm, do Split Chamber. And the only thing you're doing is reload, magazine capacity, vial acceleration. And you're just modding for viral heat. And you're going to use the AoE as the procs, because all it needs to do is just do 1 bit of damage. Another thing that you could do is you could also mod for gas. Like this. And then you would just deal with the reload. And what am I missing? Fire rate. And we're not really going, and that'll be fine, because it's an AoE. We're not really going for damage. All we're doing is just trying to get any damage at all onto the enemy from your Sentinel to proc the Deconstruct. Okay, it's just gonna sit there and spin. Give me 1 second. Okay, there goes the micro missiles. Gonna proc gas. It's hitting that enemy as well. And this, it does work kind of well as a little bit of CC, but mostly we're trying to increase the AoE as much as possible. And with the additional CC and the damage, the very tiny damage from gas. Each enemy that has taken damage will have a 25% chance. Okay, that guy dropped a health and energy orb. And there's no cooldown on this. Alright, there we got a health orb. Synth fiber allowed us to pick it up even though we're full health. So the synth deconstruct and synth fiber combination with equilibrium on the frame allows for an incredible amount of energy regen. Or energy recovery. Because with these and with gas, as long as you deal any damage at all, you can gain the benefit of them. Now, the one that is probably the best, honestly, it's a little later, but for like your survival needs, if you will, if you get to it, is the Nautilus's weapon, the Verglass. Really high status chance, and it benefits from Prime Shred. Mod for gas and cold. And you can see the laser penetrating through the back. 10 stacks on everything. So it shoots through the body. So as you're running around killing stuff, and this is shooting stuff, it will passively proc gas on each enemy that it shoots through. So it's a really easy way to get energy regen. If you're having trouble or if you don't have an arcane energize and you want to mod for something different. Now personally, just for proc chance, I actually personally mod viral heat because I'm not super reliant on the gas or on the deconstruct gas ticks, because that is a lot of energy regen. That is a ton of energy regen. If you have any issues with energy at all, just go gas and prime viral with your secondary, and you should be completely set. That being said, if you don't like priming with your secondary, you can mod for viral heat, give you a little bit of CC. It's got 8% crit, so you can throw 100 munitions on just for the additional proc. So you'll get viral heat and slash. And the only thing that we're doing is just trying to get the status chance as high as possible. So we have viral 6, malignant force, rhyme rounds, toxin cold makes viral, 60/60s, and thermite just to get it on, and split chamber just to almost double our proc chance. So it's 90% chance for 2 hits, right? So it'll proc viral and heat really fast, and it almost doubles the chance of getting a 100 munitions slash proc, right? Other than that, shred is for fire rate and for punch through, and prime fast hands is to just get it to reload faster, and hammer shot is for the status chance, not necessarily the crit. And let me show you that. It actually does end up doing a tiny bit of damage. And that's with no serration, by the way. So it will eventually tick this guy to death. So for a sentinel weapon that just kind of sits there, it's definitely not bad. So traditionally, if I'm running the Zacti, which there's a reason for it, my Zacti is modded for gas, corrosive, and heat. So I want to get viral from somewhere else, especially if I'm trying to get scans. So this would be like a setup I would use for that. It's just a little bit of RNG, but it's going to be a real quick 10 viral stacks with some additional heat procs. You saw how fast it was generating heat procs, and in no way, shape, or form is this weapon weighted for heat damage. You could lower the malignant and rhyme round mods down to next to nothing just to get viral on it at all, and the heat procs would explode. They would do a little less damage though. But no base damage at all. We're not even running serration. So a lot of times when you see me running this, especially this little guy, kind of cute, synth fiber, synth deconstruct, and equilibrium, but to go a step further, because obviously sentinels have issues. You have a mod, and this is a later game mod, because it comes from Railjack spy missions. I think it's like a 6 to 7% drop chance from Railjack spies. If memory serves, it's Saturn and Neptune. Let me Google that real quick. Sorry. Pluto, Neptune, and Venus. And it's from the spy mission. Rotation A 6.67. So 6 and 2/3%. From Neptune, Pluto, Venus is where you would get this. And just to speed up, because we are going to be conjoining this with another way to get a ton of energy back, is the Blood for Life parazon mod. This one's way more common. You probably have these. 100% chance to drop a health orb on Mercy. We're going to be using the Zacti to open enemies up for finishers. The health orb from this does apply to equilibrium. So every time you Mercy an enemy, you will get a health orb, which will then get converted from just health into health and energy. And this is probably the fastest way to regain health and energy outside of like an ability that just refills you. And that doesn't require an arcane energize. Oh, let's get some enemies we can actually finish her. Actually, let me go get rid of my energy so you can actually see it. Hold on 1 second. Alright, corrupted heavy gunners 190. It is indeed kind of wild that we're at the point where sentinels can kill 190s. Alright, we're starting out at 37. 65. 120. 180. And just like that, we're max energy is 654. And as you can see, because my frame disappeared, the mercy kill does apply to arcane trickery and can cause you to go invisible for even easier finisher attacks and mercies. So this is generally how I keep sentinels alive also with the hard reset, is if the sentinel dies, I'll use the Zacti, which is kind of my go-to secondary, as like a status build. Does a lot of damage even without crit. And the combination of the viral from the sentinel and the corrosive from the Zacti with the heat scaling, because it's heat modded, does pretty nasty damage. Even into the couple of hundreds on Steel Path. So, Swift Mercy to increase the Mercy kill. Blood for Life is a guaranteed health orb. The rare mod, Blood for Energy, is a 50% chance to drop an energy orb on Mercy. Because we're using Equilibrium, we're just going to use the 100% because that'll give us more. So you would equip these and then use the Zacti to open the enemy up for finishers. The impact from it, because this is really good at applying impact procs. The impact and mercy kill percentage is really, really, really strong on Steel Path and Star Chart at base levels. Except for something that is specifically coded as not being able to receive a mercy kill. You will basically be able to kill most things in pretty short order. And the other mechanic that's kind of important is, obviously you saw trickery. But when you mercy kill something, probably the biggest benefit that's not really talked about when using mercy kills is it causes you to drop aggro. And you're invulnerable. So if you time it really well, I would sometimes use it to bypass. It's really hard to time it for anything that isn't incredibly obvious, but if I saw like a wave off of like an Arson Eximus coming toward me, you can time the iframes from this to be able to bypass the outer ring of the Arson Eximus. It's a lot of if you're trying to do stuff like that, then get rid of the 50% speed up. But I like the 50% speed up. But when it's slower, because the Mercy Kill does take a second or two, I think it's like a second and a half or something. You can use it to bypass like damage and stuff like that. So if you know you're about to get one shot, you can Mercy Kill something. If you have the Zacti, it's really easy too. So when I'm in the animation, I'm invulnerable. And trickery on top of it makes you really, really hard to kill. You've got a lot of energy coming into you, especially with deconstruct. And if you notice, you can see it spin. I don't know how well you can see that. Like you can see it right here. Okay, see if you can see the little shadow, it's spun. The sentinel is stealthed off also. And full health again. And energy. So this has been sort of my comfy survival build so far with Revenant. Haven't had an issue up to 2 hours on Steel Path so far. Even doing Corrupted. So food for thought. The synth set and equilibrium is the important part. The parazon mods would be sweatier, but would allow you more control over what to kill. And if you have the Zacti, considering it was just vaulted, you can use it to easily set up finishers. And it would apply with trickery. And trickery, the reason, even though it seems like a niche mod, it is super cheap. I think it's like 20p for a ranked 5. It's 15p for a ranked 5. So there's definitely a meme build here. And it costs next to nothing to transfer, right? It's one of the cheaper ones. So 15p, 20p, what's the difference, right? So that's if you're not running Arcane Energize or you can't afford one, or because if it's in the future, there hasn't been if you're watching from the future, like in a couple months from now, there hasn't been an event that allows you to farm it. This is a pretty stable way, and they stack. The synth deconstruct and synth fiber with equilibrium is generally going to be enough energy on its own for all but the most energy hungry builds. But both of them together will generally take care of 99% of the energy consumption needs of any build, with the only exception being that if something needs even more, you would have to go like a Spectra Siphon build. So those would be these are the additional ways of generating a ton of energy essentially on demand. The easiest way is gas on the Sentinel weapon. Use the Mercies to revive it once you get the hard reset. If you don't have it, you can also run. Oh, and this is my. There is another setup. Okay. I don't think I can equip it. I got a Panzer cooking right now. Yeah, it's not. I'm still making Panzers for the giveaway. Um, so the big thing with that is that with the Panzer, and I'm just gonna have to tell you, is that the Panzer spores, the Panzer Vulpaphyla spores, count as damage. So you're constantly regenerating energy, or they're constantly dropping health orbs. They, to be honest, they could patch that because it's a lot of energy. It's probably an intentional interaction, but it is a ton of energy. They might add a cooldown or something. So your mileage may vary in the future, but right now it's an insane amount of energy if you do like a Panzer with the synth set, synth fiber, synth deconstruct on the Panzer, and equilibrium on the frame. Should give you basically an unlimited amount of energy, except for literally the most spammy builds you possibly could, where you literally just run like blind rage with no streamline, right? So there you go. I hope that helps. Have a blessed day, guys.